Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we are going to be talking about our Tennessee Titans and Richard Sherman and the potential possibility of him being a Tennessee Titan next year. Now, we did the same sort of similar video with Melvin Ingram, and we saw how that ended up. The timing was pretty well. I did that video a day before he signed with Pittsburgh, but it was just the wrong team. I said he, potentially going to the Titans, and then a day later he signs with the Steelers, which that's a pretty big time, good thing, good on the Steelers for picking him up, because they needed a little replacement there for Bud Dupree, and they got it in Melvin Ingram. That's going to help out that defense. It was just already a very good defense, but hats off to them for making that acquisition for their football team. But we just got to move on from that. Now, Melvin Ingram's a guy, hey, it would be nice to have him on the team, but hey, if we don't get him, it is what it is. We already have Harold Landry, Bud Dupree, and we're already good there at edge rusher, in my opinion. But if you look across the roster for the Tennessee Titans right now, offensively, I think that is a Super Bowl caliber offense. You look at A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. You've got also a fantastic wide receiver number 3, who I'm almost just as excited to see play as I am Julio Jones. You got Josh Reynolds at wide receiver 3, who played very well in that role for the Rams behind Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. So we saw how he played at wide receiver 3. He played phenomenal. So hopefully he can continue that. And you look at tight end, that's a position we could get better. You could argue we could get better there, but I really do like Ferk. And Anthony Ferkser, I think is in my opinion, he should be a fan favorite. I know a lot of casual Titans fans, maybe not quite that familiar with Anthony Ferkser, but I think he could potentially have a fantastic year, a breakout year, just due to the fact you've got absolute animals on the outside, and you got big number 22 getting the ball a lot. So it's going to open up things for everyone, and especially Ferkser, because that's going to be a lot of eye candy on Julio and AJ. And then Ferkser may get open, a good bit, because, teams are going to, they're going to game plan to stop Julio Jones and A.J. Brown along with Derrick Henry. So, in my opinion, that offense is phenomenal. You look at the offensive line, you got Taylor Lewan, who's a Pro Bowl, one of the best, tackles in the NFL, coming back. We'll have to see how that ACL, holds up, but I'm trusting that it does. Left guard, you got Saffold, who's coming on up to his, last leg. He wants a Super Bowl, especially with him making it with the Rams. And, his career could end maybe even as soon as next year. You got a center in Ben Jones, who I really love. And you've got a rising star at right guard with Nate Davis, who I think is one of the more underrated young talent in the NFL. Maybe one of the... I'm actually going to give that to Roger Saffold. Roger Saffold is the most underrated guard in the game, but I'll give Nate Davis the most underrated young guard in the game. And then you go to right tackle. That's a question mark there, but I think Dylan Radins is going to fit that role. Maybe you throw in someone else there, and then maybe throw in Dylan Radins a little later. But in my opinion, the offense, everyone's lives, it's just going to be easier with the addition of Julio Jones. We saw what happened when we only have A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry in the playoffs. Corey Davis, I don't know what happened to him in that game against Baltimore, but all the Baltimore Ravens did defensively is stack the box and double team AJ. And it was pretty easy for them to do that because you got enough guys in there to stop Derrick Henry, and you still got enough guys to double team AJ Brown. But with the addition of Julio Jones, and if he can stay healthy, and everyone can stay healthy, you've got to double both of them. If you don't double both of them and one guy's one-on-one and whatever, I'll take my chances AJ Brown one-on-one. I'll take my chances Julio one-on-one. But you almost have to double team those two guys every play, which leaves a 7-man box, which means we know what Derrick Henry can do against 7-man boxes. It's just, when you think about it, it's almost impossible to figure out a way to stop the Tennessee Titans. But, it probably will happen a game or two, but it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very, very tough to stop that Tennessee Titans offense, arguably the best offense in the NFL right now. Like I said, it's a Super Bowl caliber offense. And then you move on to defense. You got Kevin Byard, free safety. Young stud, in my opinion, and Amani Hooker going to fill that role that Kenny Vaccaro did. I think he's going to do a little bit better than Kenny Vaccaro, in my opinion. So you got two ball hawks out there, and Kevin Byard and Amani Hooker at both the free safety and strong safety. You move to inside linebacker. You got Jayon Brown, who I absolutely love, and I think he was going to have a fantastic year if he did not get hurt last year. But, things happen. And he was having a great year, a fantastic year, and then, things happen, got hurt, and, it is what it is. But you also have Rashaan Evans, who's coming back, and I think he's going to play very well. You saw what he could do in the playoffs. Goal line situations, Rashaan Evans might be the best player in the NFL, in goal line situations, defensively. And then you get to the defensive line. Obviously, you got edge rushers there, and Bud Dupree and Harold Landry. You got Danico Autry. You got Big Jeff. And you also got rotators there, too, who are pretty solid as well. And then you get to cornerback, and that's just a question mark. You got Jack Rabbit, who in my opinion is really, really good. But then you got young guys in Caleb Farley, Christian Fulton, second round pick from last year, who really didn't get to play last year. And then you also have, and in my opinion, a steal with Elijah Molden in the third round. And that's just a lot of pressure on them, don't y'all think? A lot of young guys out there. They almost have to play well because we have such a good offense. It would just feel like a terrible year if we play the same defense that we did last year. But in my opinion, if we add Richard Sherman to this defense, not only are you adding Richard Sherman, who is a phenomenal cornerback in the NFL, you're adding a veteran presence to that young cornerback core in Caleb Farley, Elijah Molden, Christian Fulton. So, Richard Sherman, in my opinion, that dude's a dog, and he's been to the Super Bowl. He's been in the league for a while. He's been around, guys. He's been around. So he's going to be able to teach and coach up those young cornerbacks. Let me take a drink here. But he's going to be able to coach up those young cornerbacks, and Caleb Farley, Elijah Molden, Christian Fulton, and those guys. So I think it's a perfect fit because Richard Sherman wants to go to a team that can potentially win a Super Bowl. I think the Titans are a very, very good choice. Because we got that offense, and he could really help us out defensively. So you got that part. Richard Sherman is a phenomenal cornerback. You add him, it just makes the team better. And then you also add his veteran presence to the team, and it's going to help out those young cornerbacks, and it's going to relieve them of the pressure they have right now to play well because they need to play well, but, having Richard Sherman, Jack Rabbit out there, that's going to help them out a little bit because, two veteran cornerbacks, that can teach them the ways. So I think it's almost a perfect fit. But y'all let me know down below what y'all think about this. The acquisition of Richard Sherman would be phenomenal in my opinion. I think we have just over $8 million left to spend, and we are in win now mode. So in my opinion, that money needs to be spent. All of it needs to be spent because we are in win now mode. And I think we could sign Richard Sherman, potentially a 2-year deal. I would be okay with a 1-year deal, especially. But maybe the 1-year deal's like 1 year, $6 million. Maybe even closer to 5. But in my opinion, J-Rob, pull the trigger, man. You've pulled it a couple times this offseason. Pull it again. Get this guy, Richard Sherman, to the Tennessee Titans and make this defense even better. And like I said, our defense doesn't even have to be elite. Our defense just has to be average. If we could just be 16, top half of the league, that'll better your chances of making it to the Super Bowl because that offense is not going to be stopped that often. So if you can get a couple stops defensively, you're more than likely going to win because of the offense you have. So let me know. What do y'all think? Richard Sherman to the Titans, yes, no, maybe. And let me know why. You still got Steven Nelson, Brian Poole out there as well. So, yeah. Let me know what y'all think, and that is going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Until next time, I'll see y'all.